Every person you encounter wants something from you. That's the truth most people are too soft to accept. They're too busy trying to be liked, too busy playing the nice role, walking through life with a blindfold on while others take advantage of them. People aren't just smiling because they care. That handshake, that eye contact, that favor they ask for just this once. It's a play. It's part of a move on their personal chessboard, and you're just another piece they're trying to maneuver. Start paying attention. The moment you stop believing in the fairy tale that everyone's intentions are pure, is the moment you begin to see reality for what it is. Your boss doesn't care about your well-being, he wants performance. Your friend who only hits you up when they need help moving or need a loan. That's not friendship, that's opportunism. Even the people closest to you sometimes wrap their needs in the language of love. They say, "I need you," and you confuse that with value. But needing you doesn't mean they respect you. It means you serve a purpose to them. And there's nothing wrong with people needing things. That's human nature. We're all trying to survive, trying to get ahead, trying to fill some gap in our lives. The problem is when you don't see it, when you let their needs override your boundaries. You become a tool, you become a resource, and when you're no longer useful, they move on. That's when the truth hits you. That fake loyalty vanishes. That support evaporates. You gave everything because you thought it was mutual. It wasn't. It was conditional. It always was. You want to stop being disappointed by people. Start seeing their intentions before they speak. Watch their patterns. Who only calls when they're in trouble. Who disappears when you need something back. Who flatters you before they make a request. That's not kindness, that's strategy. And if you don't have your own strategy, you'll always be someone else's game piece. You are taught to believe that being selfless makes you good. But when you give and give without asking why someone wants what they want from you, you're not being selfless, you're being blind. You're walking into traps with your eyes closed. Every favor is a transaction. Every request is a signal. People expose their agenda, but only if you're paying attention. Most of you aren't. You want to be loved, so you ignore the signs. You want approval, so you overlook the pattern, and that's how you get played over and over again. People don't chase you for who you are. They chase you for what you can give them. That's the reality. Most of the time, they're not attracted to you. They're attracted to your position, your value, your influence, your resources. It's not personal, it's transactional. And when you understand that, you gain control. You stop operating on emotion and start operating on leverage. You stop reacting to what people want and start using what they want as a tool, your tool. The key is to listen. Listen not just to their words but to their needs. Everyone is leaking clues. Some people want power. Some want money. Some want connection, security, or status. They'll disguise it, pretend it's about loyalty or friendship. But if you pay attention, their true desires will surface. Once you see what they're chasing, you stop being reactive. You stop being the target and become the architect. Because now you have the thing they want, and you get to choose how it's used. They want your time. Make them prove it's worth something. They want your skills. Don't hand them out like free samples. They want access to your world, your energy, your mind. Charge the toll. Most people never set the terms. They just give, thinking it'll earn them respect, thinking it'll bring loyalty, but the world doesn't work like that. The world respects value, and the moment you start withholding yours until the terms are right, everything changes. This isn't manipulation. This is survival, strategic survival. When people come with open hands, don't be so quick to fill them. First, figure out why they're empty. What are they missing? What are they hungry for? That's where your leverage is. If they're desperate for status, use that desire to pull results. If they crave validation, use that need to influence their behavior. You don't need to be loud about it. You don't need to brag or threaten. You just need to know what they're hooked on and control the supply. Because once you control what they want, you control how they move. You control what they're willing to give, what they're willing to sacrifice. That's the power dynamic most people never understand. They're too focused on being liked, too focused on avoiding conflict. But in the real world, if you're not willing to leverage what you've got, someone else will leverage it for you. That's how people get used, not because they don't have value, but because they never learned how to wield it. People spend their lives trying to be liked. They avoid conflict, swallow their words, say yes when they want to say no, all for the sake of being accepted. They think being nice will protect them, that it'll earn them respect. But all it really does is put them at the bottom of the food chain. Because in a world where everyone wants something, the nice one becomes the easiest target. They become predictable, bendable, usable. The truth is, being the nice guy, the people pleaser, the helper, the fixer, doesn't make you powerful. It makes you available, and the more available you are, the more people start to assume you exist to serve. They'll take your time without asking. They'll dump their problems on you, expecting you to carry them. They'll lean on you every time they're weak. But when you're the one who's bleeding, they vanish. Because you trained them to believe that your role is to support, not to lead. You think kindness earns loyalty. What it often earns is expectation. The more you give without boundaries, the more people assume you'll always give. And the second you stop, they don't thank you for what you've done. They resent you for what you didn't do next. That's the trap. That's the price of being the one who always says yes, always shows up, always sacrifices. You think it's building relationships, but really it's building chains. People aren't evil, they're opportunistic. And if you make yourself into a stepping stone, they won't hesitate to walk all over you on their way to something better. That's not cruelty. That's just how most people operate. You have to stop confusing your role with your worth. Just because you can help doesn't mean you should. Just because you can make their life easier doesn't mean you owe it to them. You're not a background character in their story. You're not here to be the support beam in someone else's house while yours is falling apart. You weren't born to be the soft landing for everyone who refuses to deal with their own mess. You have to draw the line. You have to flip the narrative, because the moment you stop being the nice pawn is the moment people start seeing you differently. They stop seeing someone they can manipulate and start seeing someone they have to respect. You have to be willing to disappoint people, to say no, to walk away without guilt. Not because you're cold, but because you finally realized that your value isn't in being agreeable. It's in being unmovable. Power doesn't come from waiting your turn. It doesn't come from hoping someone hands it to you out of pity or recognition. Power is taken, it's seized. It's ripped out of the hands of those who thought they were untouchable. The world doesn't give you what you deserve. It gives you what you demand, what you fight for, what you claw your way toward when no one is watching. Waiting for permission is the fastest way to stay invisible. It's how strong people become forgotten names. It's how talent dies in silence. People are raised to believe that if they just work hard, keep their head down, stay humble, eventually someone will notice and reward them. That's a lie. The world doesn't reward silence. It rewards dominance. The ones who rise aren't always the best. They're the ones who took the risk to act like they were. They walked in the room like they owned it, even if they had nothing. They didn't ask to be respected. They demanded it with every word, every step, every decision. If you want anything in this life, respect, freedom, control, you have to take it. You have to be bold enough to disrupt the order. Because the system is built to keep you obedient, You're told to be grateful, to be patient, to be small. They convince you that pushing back is arrogant, that asserting yourself is aggression. But that's only because the people in power don't want to be challenged. They want quiet soldiers, not ruthless thinkers. They want you to believe that ambition is selfish, that confidence is dangerous, that hunger is ugly. They say that to keep you tame, but the truth is, you can't afford to stay tame, not in a world that's always ready to overlook you. Not when every advantage, every inch of leverage, is held by people who had no problem stepping over others to get it. If you're not ready to step forward and take what's yours, someone else will, and they'll do it without apology. They'll take the credit, the opportunity, the spotlight, and they won't look back. That's not personal. That's just how power works. It respects force, not favor. It yields to those who show they can carry it without flinching. You think waiting your turn makes you noble, but all it does is make you invisible. If you want power, you have to stop asking. You have to stop explaining. You have to step into it like it already belongs to you and burn the bridge behind you so there's no going back. Ruthlessness isn't about being cruel. It's about being clear. It's about knowing exactly what you want, what you're willing to give, and what you will never tolerate. People confuse kindness with weakness because most people don't know how to set a boundary without apologizing. They live their lives saying yes to things that drain them, agreeing to things they hate, holding back their truth because they don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. And then they wonder why they're tired, resentful, and stuck. It's because they never decided to be ruthless with purpose. You don't win in life by being everything to everyone. You win by being solid, immovable, untouchable. That doesn't come from rage or noise. It comes from discipline, from refusing to let emotions control you, from understanding that every choice is either building your empire or burning it down. Ruthlessness is the weapon of people who got tired of being taken advantage of. It's what's left after you've been used, manipulated, overlooked, and still chose to rise. It's not loud. It's not angry. It's precise. Being ruthless means protecting your time like it's gold. It means cutting off people who drain you without explaining why. It means walking away from situations that don't serve your mission, even if it makes you the villain in someone else's story. Because you finally realized your life isn't up for debate. Your value isn't a group decision. You don't need a committee to approve your direction. You set the terms, and people can either rise to meet them or get out of the way. In a world full of passive people hoping for things to get better, the ruthless ones are the ones who make things happen. They don't wait for the opportunity, they build it. They don't ask for understanding, they demand results. They're not moved by opinions, by gossip, by doubt. They're locked in, focused, unavailable to anything that doesn't align with their purpose. People will call you cold. They'll call you arrogant. That's because your boundaries make them uncomfortable. Your refusal to bend makes them feel weak, but that's not your concern. You're not here to be understood. You're here to execute. You're here to rise. Every second spent trying to please everyone is a second stolen from your vision. Ruthlessness is not about stepping on others. It's about never letting anyone step on you again. It's about showing the world that you're not here to be a background character in your own story. The world doesn't hand out crowns to the kindest soul or the hardest worker. It gives them to the one who takes control. You've spent too long trying to be liked, trying to fit in, trying to earn what should have been yours the moment you decided to show up. But that stops now, because once you see the truth that everyone wants something from you, that their needs are tools, that being nice won't save you, and power isn't gifted you, either step into the fire and forge your own path or stay a servant in someone else's plan. This isn't about becoming heartless. It's about becoming honest. Honest with yourself about what you want. Honest about who's using you. Honest about how much of your life you've been giving away to people who never earned it. You don't owe the world anything, but you owe yourself everything. Your time, your strength, your focus, your standards. So stop being the option. Stop being the crutch. Stop being the open door for people who only show up when they're empty-handed. Be the storm they can't predict. Be the standard they can't reach. Be the force that no one can ignore. Because once you decide to stop playing their game and start building your own, you don't just survive.